Chat, what the fuck was that? Chat, I don't know what the fuck just happened. Did somebody swat us? I'll be back, chat.
Cool Kicks is absolutely screwed. If you don't know about the current situation, Cool Kicks was raided by the LAPD at the beginning of October in 2025. Cool Kicks is an LA-based sneaker resale store that is known for selling limited edition sneakers and streetwear to celebrities, rappers, and athletes. This all started when the owner Adeel Shams was live streaming on Whatnot when the LAPD pulled up to their warehouse and cuffed him and his employees right there on the spot. At the time when this all happened, there was speculation on the internet that him and his team were selling fake sneakers. But it turns out they were actually caught with over $500,000 in stolen sneakers. And new details have just came out that all of these sneakers that were stolen are being linked back to a train heist that happened earlier this year. And as the situation is unfolding, we're also getting information that the owner of the store is actually snitching on the robbers behind these train heists. We are seeing new footage and busts from the feds coming out right now. Also, employees of Cool Kicks are fighting back and going after people who are criticizing the store since everything went down. This all started with Cool Kicks buying stolen product from the cargo train heist and then saying they knew nothing about it in a PR statement that was released on their Instagram. Anyone with a brain knows this is bullshit. Yo, what's up YouTube? Just another day in the shop scamming our loyal ass customers. Oh shit. Cool Kicks, right? You guys sell shoes? Whoa. Okay, that depends. What do you got? Got these unreleased Travis Scott Jordan 4s. Damn. Yeah, these are fire. Hey, they don't come out till next year, huh? You just got these 3 pairs? Nah, we got like 4,000 more back in the truck. Holy shit. Hey, how'd you get your hands on these anyway? Well, it's a funny story. We were in the middle of the desert and there was this cargo train coming by. All right. Shh. Doesn't matter, okay? We'll take them. Okay, dope. How much? We could do 200 a pair. Oh, that's a little low, but I really need to get rid of these. Okay, fine. We'll do it. All right, dope. Feel free to check out anything else that we have here in the store. Okay, what do you mean? Where's the money? No. The $200 is in store credit. They can take you up front over there. What the fuck? How much is that in cash? We could do $35 cash for each pair or 200 store credit. Sound good? Man, you motherfucker. So the owner of Cool Kicks, Adeel Shams, was live streaming on Whatnot on a random day in the middle of the week, auctioning off sneakers. Midstream, you hear commotion and suddenly he looks off camera like something's going on. There's a lot of confusion with people in the chat thinking maybe it was a prank or a swatting, and you can tell the owner has no clue what's happening. A few moments later, the stream cuts off. Minutes after that, there's footage posted online of what's going on outside of their warehouse. Cops are everywhere, people are getting handcuffed, and there are pallets of sneakers just sitting there on the pavement. It looks like a full-on raid. At first, nobody knew why. People were speculating all over Instagram, Reddit, and Twitter. A majority of people were thinking that it was for selling fake sneakers, while other people were arguing that it was maybe fraud or tax issues. Nobody really had any solid facts yet, but the internet was still running wild with all of these different theories. Now here's when things get interesting. Early on, the Bunko and Forgery Division was confirmed to be the team that raided them. This is the LAPD's unit that deals with fraud, counterfeits, stolen goods, and financial crimes. So the internet immediately jumped to, yeah, these guys are selling fake sneakers. And then Cool Kicks employees started doing damage control almost immediately. You had multiple guys on social media posting the same type of messaging, almost like they were reading off a script. They're all saying, guys, Cool Kicks doesn't sell fake sneakers. This all has to do with another situation that is completely different. And still, everyone is calling bullshit from the start. They said they were raided because they unknowingly bought stolen sneakers within a 48-hour window. Yeah, right. You accidentally bought $500,000 worth of Nikes in 2 days? To me, that doesn't sound like a coincidence. You expect people to believe that you run one of the biggest sneaker stores in the country, you've been in the game for years, but somehow didn't think it was a little sus that you were buying shoes from stolen train shipments? Nah, I don't think anyone believes that. If anything, it makes them look worse. Because that means either 1, they were stupid enough not to check where the product came from, or 2, they knew damn well where they were buying it from, which is a pretty severe crime. And to make it even more obvious, the LAPD has already confirmed that they were using tracking devices hidden on the pallets of these stolen Nike sneakers, which track directly back to Cool Kicks. This doesn't sound like some random bust that the police happened to stumble across. They probably have been following that trail for months. So Cool Kicks saying that they didn't know is completely brain dead. You don't get raided by a full fraud division out of nowhere. Anytime the feds are involved in an investigation, they already build a full case before they even kick the doors down. That means the police already had proof. And the thing is, train theft has already been a huge problem with Nike over the past couple of years. Organized crime units are being tipped off from insiders of the supply chain behind these limited edition Nike sneakers. They then sneak onto the trains carrying these sneakers and wait until they are in the middle of the desert of Arizona or California, and then they cut these emergency cords. This causes the train to stop where there isn't any help for miles away. The robbers can then grab as many sneakers as they can and load them up into getaway cars and then get out before any cops can make it onto the scene. Since this problem has been such a common occurrence for Nike over years, they began implementing some tracking devices on these shipments in case they were stolen in order to find the people behind all of this organized crime. This is how they were able to track all of the products back to Cool Kicks, who purchased the products and still claim that they didn't know about it. The problem is Cool Kicks has been sketchy for years. The whole store was built off of clickbait and fake hype. They originally built their following off of doing sneaker shopping videos that clearly bites off complex. They film OF girls and rappers in their stores who are dropping thousands on shoes and acting like they were the plug for your favorite celebrity. But behind the camera, people were already complaining about fake or tampered sneakers, overpricing, and getting scammed on their Whatnot live streams. And everyone knew that something was off with the store for a little while, they just couldn't prove it. You can't sell thousands of unreleased pairs before the launch of the sneaker without raising eyebrows of some kind. Either they're paying off factory workers, buying stolen sneakers, or the shoes themselves are fake. And so after the raid, we saw all these viral clips of officers hauling out pallets of boxes. We got Cool Kicks employees who are in cuffs, and the police are loading evidence into their trucks. Adeel was booked into jail the same day, 4:45 p.m., with a felony charge for receiving stolen property over $950 by the Bunko and Forgery Division that's printed right there on the record. Then Cool Kicks tried to clarify everything by releasing a PR statement on their Instagram. You can pause it here if you want to read the whole thing. They said the raid wasn't about fakes, but instead it was only about stolen goods. Yet they unknowingly purchased them and they're cooperating with authorities. I mean, yeah, no shit, you're cooperating. They were literally caught red-handed. You don't just get raided in the middle of the week while you're live streaming on Whatnot if it was some misunderstanding. Their posts basically tried to play it off and say that they were the victims in the situation. They're acting like they're innocent businessmen who just got caught up in the wrong thing or just happened to buy bad stock. But come on, who is actually paying over $500,000 of unreleased sneakers and over 2,100 pairs? No one is believing that it just happened to be an oversight for their company. And by the way, they've been called out for scamming on Whatnot long before any of this went down. Tons of people online said that they were selling fakes, mislabeling items, and even selling low quality stuff for premium prices. Some people even said that they were sent wrong sizes or totally different shoes than they bought. And there's a ton of clips of them acting sketchy during these auctions on Whatnot that are hyping up unsellable sneakers as rare or limited. Also, about a year ago, another big store in the vintage market called Second Street also called out Cool Kicks for bringing in some born and raised Nike Dunks to sell to them. The thing was, these shoes were also fake as hell. And keep in mind, Second Street isn't a small store either. They have over 800 physical locations. And Cool Kicks even dropped a video after this whole situation went down bashing Second Street. And then Second Street put out a PR statement to their Instagram. And after Cool Kicks started getting all of the backlash, they took down their original video. So all of this scamming from Cool Kicks isn't new. This raid is just confirming what people have been thinking for years. This whole situation is so pathetic. They built a whole empire off of pretending to be legit while clowning their customers who couldn't tell a fake from a real pair. And now they're getting their karma by getting clowned on the internet. And then came a huge social media meltdown, especially from the employees of Cool Kicks, specifically from the infamous Rami the Icon, who's also built a social media following off of of the rise of Cool Kicks. And the craziest thing is they're still posting business as usual. The store is still running, and he put out a statement to his YouTube saying that they didn't know and that they're innocent and that they don't sell fakes. Meanwhile, they took all of their videos and content down from their Whatnot account, and people started noticing that some of their comments were even being deleted off of their Instagram. So for context, Rami the Icon is an employee of Cool Kicks. He took advantage of the hype the store was getting and started his own YouTube channel of dealing with customers and negotiating over sneaker prices. But Rami has been crashing out since all of this controversy has been coming out. A YouTube commentator named Tripping was covering the story on a live stream. Rami joined the live stream and he just began losing his mind. Instead of shutting up and letting the store deal with the backlash, he was meat riding his boss and talking shit on this stream. He even went so low as to call out Tripping's looks. He insulted his girlfriend and he even threatened him with violence. I can't believe how lame and weird this guy is. Like, bro, your boss just got arrested, your store was raided, and now you're online beefing. I feel like that tells you everything that you need to know about the culture of Cool Kicks. This is just so sad and pathetic. You have to have just such a small ego to be doing this. Also, his YouTube channel has like 2 million subscribers. Why is he punching down in this situation? I don't know, but this guy is just a weirdo. But wait, there's more. When you thought things couldn't get any worse, recently reports came out that Adeel has been cooperating with the police. Basically, this means that he's been snitching on the robbers who originally stole all of the product from the trains. Since then, there has been even more raids connected to this case. Over $1.4 million in stolen Nike shoes, tools, and electronics were recovered, with even more arrests. And although this is just allegations, if we're being honest, it's pretty obvious that the owner of Cool Kicks is just snitching like 6ix9ine. Although I think it's good that these people are facing the consequences of their actions, at the same time, it kind of makes the owner of the store look like a coward. Because he built this whole image of being the king of sneakers, he flexed with all of these celebrities, and now whenever shit is starting to hit the fan, he's ratting out people to save himself. I feel like most people could just sense that Cool Kicks was built off of surface level bullshit. They use influencers, they constantly milk clout for YouTube, and they charge their fans insane prices for these sneakers that are way higher than market value. And at the end of the day, those sneakers were probably taken from the back of a stolen truck. If you're a sneakerhead and you've ever bought anything from Cool Kicks, it's not unfair to say that you might have ended up with something that was either stolen or fake. And the craziest part is that they've been doing all of this out in the open for years, constantly posting content, showing stacks of unreleased sneakers months before their release, and just laughing and joking on camera like it's nothing. And the whole time, the feds were literally watching, tracking the shipments, and building a case on them. But now the whole brand's reputation is completely destroyed. They can continue to release PR statements and say we didn't know all that they want, but it really doesn't matter. If the public perception thinks that you're fake or you're committing fraud, I feel like you're done at that point. And really, no one's defending them except other influencers who are friends of them or their own employees. Even other sneaker sellers are saying that they saw this coming. People are pointing out how Cool Kicks had early pairs months before release, how their Whatnot streams were shady as hell, and how everyone just happened to look the other way because they were famous. And if you're still one of those people saying it's just speculation, these are all allegations, just give them a chance, go ahead and think that, but I feel like you shouldn't be shocked when more stuff comes out because it is going to come out. So with all of these new raids connected to the original raid, here's what happens next. Adeel Shams and whoever else is getting charged are all heading to court soon. His arraignment date is already set and the feds have already laid out the felony charge of receiving stolen property over $950. Now this is a real criminal case. And the way that's shaping up right now, Cool Kicks lawyers are most likely just going to argue that they unknowingly bought all of those products. That's most likely going to be the defense in court. They're probably just going to claim it was all a big misunderstanding. They'll probably say that they're just resellers, that the shoes came from a supplier that they trusted, and that they didn't even realize that those pairs were a part of a theft ring. But still, the evidence doesn't look good. And the cops have already said that they traced the stolen sneakers using that tracking tech that I mentioned earlier inside the pallets. And that's not hearsay. That is literally hard data that they can prove that those exact shoes came from a theft. So what's Cool Kicks going to say? That someone just happened to break in their warehouse and put 500 grand worth of sneakers in there? I feel like the only card that they have left to play is ignorance. And really, that's not going to go that far whenever you've been in the business for 10 plus years. They can't continuously act clueless when they've been intentionally flexing unreleased pairs months before they even came out. Their defense will probably be something like, we just got caught in the middle of this. They'll argue that they didn't participate in the theft, they just bought the goods afterward. But the law doesn't really care if they can prove you should have known. In this case, with the quantity, timing, and insane price and how many sneakers there were, yeah, they should have known. If the court finds out they knew or that there's obvious red flags, it's most likely over. Adeel's probably looking at prison time. Even if he somehow avoids it, the brand is still cooked. If they're still somehow able to keep the business alive, this is still going to leave a permanent stain on how people view Cool Kick's reputation. And this trial that is coming out soon is telling us whether he's willing to lie to save himself or continuously snitch to potentially lower his sentence. Either way, we're going to be hearing some more information about this when the courtroom starts hearing evidence, and this whole situation has just been insane from the start. But let me know what you guys think. Do you think that they're genuinely scammers? Have you ever purchased anything from them in the past? But we're going to be finding out more details and evidence very soon. And if you like content like this, feel free to check out some of the other videos on my channel that are similar to this one, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.